Here we are again. Hi, this is Kim.
This is Andy.
Yep, and we're going to read to you from the Urantia book, but first we got here 365 Days of Walking the Red Road by Terry Jean. Okay, today we are honoring Luther Standing Bear, Oglala Sioux, who lived from 1868 to 1937. Also, we're honoring Charlene Teeters. Okay, you go.
Luther Standing Bear said, "That band is not the color of your hand, but if I pierce it, I shall feel pain. The blood that will follow from mine will be the same color as yours. The great Spirit made us both."
Okay, what is he saying there really? That band is not the color of your hand. That hand. Is that hand?
Yes.
Not. Yeah, that's hand, not band.
But if I pierce it, I shall feel pain. The blood that will flow from mine will be the same color as yours.
So if I hurt you, if I hurt your hand, I will feel pain because you are the same as me. See, they were identifying positively with us. Even so, we were inflicting such violence on them. But that was our failure. We never saw them as, or I'm not trying to say I'm not identifying with that anymore. You know, the white people didn't identify, didn't see the Indians as human. Right.
On this date in Native American history, in New Mexico, artist Charlene Teeters closed her controversial exhibit named "It Was Only an Indian: Native American Stereotypes." Okay, here comes
right.
Ed.
Charlene Teeters artwork by. Okay, so I'm gonna put a link in there. Charlene Teeters. So there it is about Charlene and her artwork. Okay. All right. Now the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu, translation by Ralph Allen Dale. We have chapter 62, rehearsals for the great integrity. Here we have picture clouds. So this is rehearsals of the great integrity. So it's something we have to practice, we have to get ready for. The great integrity is the sanctuary of all human beings. For those who are honest and caring, it is a guide and a treasure. For those who are dishonest and deceitful, it is also a treasure. Because a good word can rationalize a selfish act. And because a good act now and then can serve as a mask for living extravagantly from the misery of others. Okay, so this is a refuge. It's a treasure both for the good and the bad. It helps the good, but it also helps the bad people. So we can't say God is reserved or heaven reserved only for the, we can't say that. Right? I think that's a major thing in our culture here.
You're right.
People who are preaching about heaven or about God are reserving that only for people like them.
Only for Christians.
Only for Christians. Only for Christians. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Not even for those kind of Christians over there. You know what I mean? Right. Okay. Since the great integrity is so universally acknowledged, don't cast away those who use it opportunistically. Rather, cast away the opportunities to live selfishly so that the great integrity can more fully permeate all our lives. Don't cast away the people that don't use this. Yeah. We might begin with the inauguration ceremonies of our leaders. Instead of showering them with precious gifts, instead of the public swearing of meaningless oaths, why not share a meditation on the great integrity as a prelude to its comprehensive embrace?
Mhm.
Instead of like giving all these, see, he's talking about his own culture there, about Chinese, like all these,
Mhm.
this oaths that they had to pass all these tests uh, to be a public servant, and it was just all this meaningless pomp and heraldry, and to be able to just do something good for your people.
Well, that applies here as well. I mean, President Trump swore to uphold the Constitution, swore to defend and uphold the Constitution, and then he tried to overturn the election.
I know.
So,
I still don't my rule. I don't use the words president and Trump in the same breath. I don't do that.
mhm.
That's still my rule.
Well, let's
But
go
anyway,
to Urantia.
Urantia, calcium, the wanderer
Paper
of
41,
space. Paper 41,
number
section
6.
6. We're learning about calcium.
Calcium, the wanderer of space.
It's not just for your bones and teeth.
In deciphering spectral phenomenon, it should be remembered that space is not empty, that light in traversing space is sometimes slightly modified by the various forms of energy and matter which circulate in all of organized space. Some of the lines indicating unknown matter which appear in the spectra of your sun are due to the modifications of well-known elements which are floating throughout space in shattered form, the atomic casualties of the fierce encounters of the solar elemental battles. Wow. Space is pervaded by these wandering derelicts, especially sodium and calcium.
Okay, so like wandering derelicts. What is it? That's creative language. Is that so? Like I know that they're like free radicals. Like radicals will come and like steal electrons or like throw electrons at the other stuff to mess up their their stuff they're going on. That's like chemical things. Yeah, these are fierce encounters of the solar elemental battles. Look at that. Isn't that amazing language?
Mhm.
Space is pervaded by these wandering derelicts, sodium and calcium.
Calcium is, in fact, the chief element of the matter permeation of space throughout Urantia. Our whole superuniverse is sprinkled with minutely pulverized stone. Stone is literally the basic building matter for the planets and spheres of space. The cosmic cloud, the great space blanket, consists for the most part of the modified atoms of calcium. The stone atom is one of the most prevalent and persistent of the elements.
Okay, the stone atom. Because this is when like the stone atom. Like a stone is made up of a lot of different kinds of elements, but here they're talking about calcium is the stone. Well, I think it was the first because all the lime and stuff like that is made like calcium, and the shells of shellfish.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Stone atom.
It not only endures solar ionization, splitting, but persists in an associative identity even after it has been battered by the destructive X-rays and shattered by the high solar temperatures. Calcium possesses an individuality and a longevity excelling all of the more common forms of matter.
Mm-hmm.
As your physicists have suspected, these mutilated remnants of solar calcium literally ride the light beams for varied distances, and thus their widespread dissemination throughout space is tremendously facilitated.
They ride the light beams.
Wow.
Oh, do you love that?
I do. The sodium atom, under certain modifications, is also capable of light and energy locomotion. The calcium feat is all the more remarkable since this element has almost twice the mass of sodium. Local space permeation by calcium is due to the fact that it escapes from the solar photosphere in modified form by literally riding the outgoing sunbeams. Of all the solar elements, calcium, notwithstanding its comparative bulk, containing as it does 20 revolving electrons, was the most successful in escaping from the solar interior to the realms of space. This explains why there is a calcium layer, a gaseous stone surface on the Sun 6,000 miles thick, and this despite the fact that 19 lighter elements and numerous heavier ones are underneath. Wow, that's
Right.
amazing.
Okay, so there's a layer how it's 6,000 what
6,000.
miles thick
Wow.
on the sun of calcium.
Calcium is an active and versatile element at solar temperatures. The stone atom has two outer electronic circuits, which are very close together. Early in the atomic struggle, it loses its outer electron, whereupon it engages in a masterful act of juggling the 19th electron back and forth between the 19th and 20th circuits of electronic revolution. By tossing this 19th electron back and forth between its own orbit and that of its lost companion more than 25,000 times a second, a mutilated stone atom is successfully able to ride the emerging streams of light and energy, the sunbeams, to liberty and adventure. This calcium atom moves outward.
This little calcium atom going like on all kinds of adventures on the light beams.
That's great. So this calcium atom moves outward by alternate jerks of forward propulsion, grasping and letting go of the sunbeam about 25,000 times each second. And this is why the stone is the chief component of the worlds of space. Calcium is the most expert solar prison escaper.
It's the most expert solar prison escaper because it can get away from the sun.
By riding the light beams. The agility of this acrobatic calcium electron is indicated by the fact that when tossed by the temperature X-ray solar forces to the circle of the higher orbit, it only remains in that orbit for about 1/1 millionth of a second before the electric gravity power of the atomic nucleus pulls it back into its old orbit, it is able to complete 1 million revolutions about the atomic center. Wow. Your sun has parted with an enormous quantity of its calcium, having lost tremendous amounts during the times of its convulsive eruptions in connection with the formation of the solar system. Much of the solar calcium is now in the outer crust of the sun. It should be remembered that spectral analysis show only sun surface compositions. For example, solar spectra exhibit many iron lines, but iron is not the chief element in the sun. This phenomenon is almost wholly due to its present temperature of the sun's surface, a little less than 6,000 degrees, this temperature being very favorable to the registry of the iron spectrum.
Okay, so it's saying here, okay, because you know how they measure the composition of the sun, like how those electrons move and they emit certain spectra. I know what that means.
Mhm.
Okay, they emit certain like radiation spectra.
Right.
But here they're saying that even though iron is like iron is not the chief element in the sun. So this is advanced stuff. I don't know if science gets this. So that measurement of that spectra is kind of biased towards something, and iron is easier to register on our measurement devices than calcium, even though calcium is there's more calcium.
Mhm.
So that our, but this is like what we're learning in science is that our measuring devices are actually necessarily flawed. They all have bias. They'll have like kind of, because the measurement, is part of and they understood this. This is back in the, people didn't get that, didn't even have it.
Years ago.
Yeah, this is like, when Einstein hadn't really published yet. Right?
Yeah, so this was being read.
Being understood, like this was not being
Wow.
read at that time at all. This was just being put together.
Mhm.
It's
Pretty
just
remarkable.
like, yeah, I know.
It is. Well, so that's calcium. Riding
Okay.
the sunbeams around the universe.
Yeah, so let's go right on sunbeams. I wanted, yeah, I'd be like little calcium particle. I'm steering this sunbeam over Right? Isn't that great? Okay, well, you have a great Sunday. Okay, enjoy your calcium. Next time you have a glass of milk or something, really appreciate that calcium escaping from the solar prison and riding on the sunbeams to be in your glass of milk and
Well
be,
said.
part of your bones. And you're like, it's like, oh, baby, you came such a long way, and I just want to just drink this milk. And oh, it's so cool.
So cool.
All right. Okay, very awesome. You guys have a really good day.
Have a great day.
All right. Bye.
Bye.